The living women I admire most, well, that's a great question. I think Malalai Joya, who is a young parliamentarian in the Afghani parliament, is quite extraordinary. She has survived death threats from her male-dominated colleagues and threats of rape, and she sleeps in a different place every night for security, and she's absolutely committed to reclaiming peaceful autonomy for her community and her country. She's a gutsy woman. And just last Saturday, I met one of my personal heroines, Medea Benjamin, who's the founder of a group called Code Pink, and she has been vociferous as a peace activist and countering the U.S. campaign of dropping drones on civilian populations overseas. And she's one of my heroines because she is so brave in challenging and speaking truth to power and challenging, this gigantic empire with its sometimes bloodthirsty policies that is, unfortunately, my country right now. What female public figure do I think is doing the biggest disservice in terms of women's image of themselves? Again, I challenge that question. It's never good for women to cast one woman as representing every woman, or this woman's self-presentation as having a negative or positive effect on other women's value or confidence. It's nonsensical. We have to get out of that habit. We're all individuals. We speak for ourselves. There are plenty of women in public life I'm not crazy about. There are plenty of men in public life I'm not crazy about. Why isn't Hillary Clinton speaking out against closing Guantanamo? But these are not gender issues. These are issues of public policy. Which male public figure personifies the best qualities in men? These questions are very essentialist in some ways. I mean, men are individuals too, right? They're like, what are courage, honor, nobility? Are those male qualities? Are those female qualities? They're human qualities. There are plenty of men I respect and admire in public life. Who's a recent example? Dan Ellsberg is a hero of mine. He is very active speaking out on behalf of whistleblowers in the United States at a time when our civil liberties are being dialed down. Is that because he's a man? No, it's because he's an honorable citizen. I think this way of asking questions is very retro and not constructive. I'm raising a 13-year-old boy, and I wouldn't want him to learn that there are certain qualities that are men qualities and certain qualities that are women qualities. I'd like him to see people as human beings and, courage, nobility, honor as human qualities to aspire to. There are plenty of men in public life I don't admire. Belligerent, hostile, aggressive men who suppress human liberty. But that's not a gender issue. There are belligerent, hostile, aggressive women who suppress human liberty. I just read a book called Hitler's Furies about women Nazis. We have to move past the assumption that either gender has a monopoly on certain personal qualities. I think Barack Obama, who promised to close Guantanamo as his first act as president, who years later has failed to do so, is a disappointment. Is he a disappointment as a man? No, he's a disappointment as a leader.